All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Well, good morning here, but hope everyone's having a good day. I do know we have many viewers or listeners from. Okay, I think we're live now. How are you guys doing? Sometimes I forget that the ads pop up there. I have to skip them as soon as possible. So sorry if you guys heard me and then it just shut off real quick. But we are live. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I can be heard. If someone can just let me know that the audio is all good, it's always appreciated. But thank you so much for joining me today, guys. A little bit earlier start, early in the morning here for me. But I know with viewers all around the world, good afternoon and good evening to you guys as well. Thank you so much for joining again. I really do appreciate it. So I think first off, I hope you guys are all doing well, of course. Hope everyone's staying safe, staying healthy. I hope everyone's hitting the goals that they want. And I hope everyone is having an amazing Sunday and enjoying their weekend. And again, I really appreciate you all coming. I'm seeing everyone in here. Yes. Thank you so much, Pamela, Antonio, Marcia, Priscilla. Thank you so much, everyone. And I love it. New South Wales, Australia. Australia is in here. Audio is great. Thank you so much, Jackson. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all of the engagement this morning already. I think it's going to be an excellent chat that we're going to have today. I'm really excited for it. You know, I was thinking all week which one I wanted to do. I was going back and forth on two ideas that I had. I'll save the other idea for probably our Wednesday stream. But I really wanted to focus on cholesterol and focus on heart health. And why? Because as I pointed out in a couple of our streams, and as I point out in videos all the time, we almost have a pandemic of heart disease out there right now as well. You know, that word is a little taboo right now maybe, but you know, when I say that, the reason why I say it like that and put it like that is because we know that as of right now, and there's numerous studies that are showing this, is that over 0.25%, so over 25%, and that number is growing every single year, every single month, that someone, all right, this amount of individuals, so billions of people, are going to be dealing with some sort of risk factor that deals with heart disease. And one of those big risk factors is actually going to be high cholesterol, high LDL cholesterol levels, and LDL cholesterol oxidation, and just high cholesterol in general. We know that that number is going up as well. Remember, guys, let's just point out at the very beginning of the stream, we're going to differentiate LDL cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, and again, you do want some LDL cholesterol, and HDL cholesterol, or good cholesterol. But you want to make sure that you're keeping the LDL cholesterol at good levels. And again, as I'm telling you guys this, we know that the number of individuals that are getting on cholesterol medications to manage cholesterol is increasing every single year. We're really not seeing any dips in the literature or anything of that nature. So this is an important, I believe, an important stream really for anyone, because if it's 25% and it's creeping up to 30%, guys, not only do we have to consider that, you know, maybe we might be dealing with this issue. And if you're not, awesome. Let's talk about foods that are going to help with managing cholesterol. But if you are, again, we're not judging. There's a lot of people that are dealing with this issue. If you are, we're going to talk about foods that are going to improve cholesterol levels. Okay, because it's very important for our overall heart health. We want to stay away from LDL oxidation. You know, heart disease is on the rise, and we know the detriment of what heart disease can lead to. I don't have to tell you guys already know. Vural from Turkey, thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Vural, thank you so much for letting me know where you are, listening all the way from Turkey. It's so funny, as the Euro soccer is going on, I'm noticing a lot of people and individuals from all these matches that I've been watching. So thank you so much for letting me know, guys. I really do appreciate it. So let's get into our chat. That's my little rant, I guess, at the beginning of the stream, why it's so important and why I want to talk about foods that can help to lower cholesterol. And we're going to specifically be discussing LDL cholesterol drop. because remember, we differentiated already LDL cholesterol, or bad cholesterol, and HDL cholesterol, your good cholesterol. Let's also make sure that we understand that we do need some LDL cholesterol. It wouldn't be like our goal would be 0 LDL cholesterol. We just want it at good, healthy levels. So we wouldn't be eliminating LDL cholesterol altogether. So let's get into it, guys. With my rant, you guys know 25%, almost 30% now of individuals, we might be dealing with high cholesterol levels or heart disease, or at that level, we probably know someone or have family members that are dealing with this. So if you guys can, or if you guys want, you can pass some of this information on to family members, friends, something of that nature, because in this day and age, we probably know someone who is, dealing with symptoms of high cholesterol or dealing with high cholesterol. So the first thing I will mention, we can add all of the foods that we want, but we have to make sure the lifestyle that we're living, all right, is going to be helping with heart health and cholesterol levels. We can reduce cholesterol levels through the type of lifestyle that we are living. That's one thing that I always like to start the streams off before I get right into the foods, and we'll get right into the foods in just a couple minutes here. But we have to make sure that we're living a lifestyle that is going to help us to, receive the benefits from the foods that I'm about to list to actually lower cholesterol and to regulate cholesterol, right? And bad LDL cholesterol. So make sure that we're living a healthy life. If we're living a lifestyle where we're dealing with things like obesity, all right, which again is on the rise just as much as heart disease, if not more. Again, every single year those numbers are going up, especially over the last year. So let's keep that in mind as well. And again, this is non-judgmental, guys. If you guys are dealing with issues of obesity, you're not alone. And there are things that we can do to deal with that. And one of them is living a non-sedentary lifestyle. If you're living a sedentary lifestyle, so what I mean by that is if you're not getting much movement, if your job consists of working at a desk and you're not getting any exercise or anything like that. And remember, movement. I don't like to always use the word exercise. I might here and there, but just getting some movement, going for a 30-minute walk. If you do that a few times a week, then you're going to be getting your movement quota for the week. Remember, our movement quota is 150 minutes. So if you can split that up into 30 to 40-minute sort of walks, it only takes a few times a week to get that movement in there. Marsha, it was planned like that. That's how... Poor diet. So there you go. Exactly, Marsha. Exactly sort of what I'm... poor diet and very little exercise. Exactly sort of, you're just hitting on the points that I just mentioned here. So thank you so much, Marsha, for your comment. Exactly. Poor diet and very little exercise or movement. So those are the main things we have to make sure that we're dealing with, guys. And remember, it's not high intensity movement or exercise that we need. What we just need is just 150 minutes of exercise or movement. It can be walks, it can be a little bit of resistance training, so just something with bands, yoga, things of that nature. All right, so don't think of it as having to go to the gym or go running. If you enjoy swimming, just getting into the pool is helpful. So making sure we're dealing with our lifestyle first. Lifestyle has to be important to us, and it has to be something that we're thinking about. Because as I said, we can be having the best foods for cholesterol, but if we are dealing with obesity and we are living a very sedentary lifestyle, you're not going to be getting the maximum benefits of these foods, and you may not be getting any benefit at all. All right, if we're obese, right, we might be dealing with high cholesterol levels. If we are dealing with obesity, like I said, you can add all these foods, but if you're not changing other parts of your diet, other parts of your lifestyle, you may not be maximizing or getting the full benefits of these foods that we're going to talk about today, guys. So the first one is making sure we're getting some movement, all right? Making sure that we're, not dealing with symptoms of obesity, dealing with obesity in general, okay? And make sure we're getting good sleep. Make sure that we're getting good sleep and good rest as well. That's very important. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I don't miss all the comments. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you so much. I know it might be paused on my end. I see 3, but thank you so much for the comments, guys. So remember, don't put too much pressure on yourself when it comes to lifestyle. Take it, like I tell you guys all the time, take it day by day. Don't be too hard on yourself, but try to make it a bit more of a priority in your life to get that 150 minutes of movement per week. If you can do that, you're going to maximize the benefits of the foods that we're going to list today. Right? And if we are dealing with something of obesity, again, it's not to be judgmental, but again, even adding these healthy foods is going to help. If you're dealing with, a higher weight and you're wanting to drop some weight, adding some of these foods into your diet is going to help with that, because we want to be in a calorie deficit. If we're in a calorie maintenance or a calorie surplus, we're not going to be losing any weight, and you're actually going to be gaining weight if we're in a surplus of calories. Sonia, thank you so much for your comment. I'm doing very well. I hope you are as well, Sonia. I hope everyone's doing great in here. Thank you so much. I have to say it again. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Jalou, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Jalou. Thank you so much. Good morning to you as well. Marsha, thank you again. Mufasa, welcome back. I'm glad the internet is working. Jalou, starting your day off at the gym. Very nice. Watch the sugar and sodium. That's right. And we have to, and from Miami, very nice. Been to Miami myself. Yep, longer, exactly. And it can be short or long walks. It just depends how often you're doing it. All right, it just becomes a matter of frequency. How often are you getting the walks? I think and consistency. So frequency, how many times a week, and being consistent with it. Making sure that we're doing it multiple months and years, not thinking too much from one week to the next. But start, don't worry about getting in. Don't think about the year. Think about week by week. So very nice. So not only, one last thing before I get into the foods here, guys. All right. As Magali, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Magali, sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Thank you for your comment, because again, as I said, adding these foods in and taking some of the foods out that are going to be leading to obesity, right off the bat, we have to make sure that we're watching our sugar and sodium intake. All right, sugar and salt, guys. Those are two common foods, that are out there pretty much in almost anything we eat these days, it seems like, unless we're eating raw or, really watching labels of the foods that we eat. But there's a lot of preservatives, all right? So a lot of things are high in salt, all right? And then there's a lot of sugar, all right? It's almost surprising if you guys actually add up how much sugar we are eating per day if we're not watching or being careful with what we are eating, all right? So if we want to be improving cholesterol levels and improving heart health, we need to watch out for sugar. And we're talking about refined sugar here, so like your white sugar. We talked about fructose and glucose before, but really watch sucralose. That's your main one for heart health, guys. Keep that in moderation. I think the recommended sugar intake is something like nothing over 30 grams per sugar. As you guys know, if you've listened to any of my live streams, I don't deal well with sugar. I can't eat much sugar. So I kind of have to, I eat sugar maybe if I'm going to have I've called a cheat meal before, go off the diet just a little bit. And remember, when I say diet, I'm just talking about the regular foods I eat on a daily basis. It's not that, I'm eating a low calorie diet right now, but I might eat it like once a week, 2 times a week, no more than that. Okay, it's generally 2 weeks, so no more than like 1 or 2. 2, it would be very rare for me when it comes to something like ice cream or something on that nature. But very good, Magali. Thank you for pointing that out. Jim, you only wreck up your muscles. Yeah, you have to be careful, when you're at the gym, not overdoing it. That can be something if you're doing resistance training, overtraining and things of that nature. Again, like I've pointed out, you don't need to go super heavy with weights like barbells, dumbbells, things of that nature. You can just use resistance bands, guys. They're very cheap, cost effective. You're not paying for a gym membership. You can do it from home, and they're $25 for a set of bands that you can just easily look up on YouTube and find a good 30-minute to 40-minute resistance band training routine. So again, don't overdo it. What are your thoughts on juicing and exercise? Exercise, I believe, Jalou, if you, as I said at the beginning of my stream, I sort of went on a little bit of a rant. If we're going to improve cholesterol and heart health, guys, we need to try to get 150 minutes of movement per day. Or sorry, not per day, per week. All right. So that could be 30 minutes per day. All right. Juicing is fine. Just make sure if you're juicing, all right, you're going to be getting high nutrients. So that's great for heart health. All right, high nutrient foods, great for cholesterol. Just make sure you're not adding too much high fructose foods into your juicing. Okay, because again, it's different from sucralose, but remember, like papayas and things like that, mangoes, pineapples, things of that nature are going to have fructose and glucose, both monosaccharides, both creating a disaccharide with sucralose. So you just need to be careful you're not doing it too, overdoing it with the fruit, especially high sugar, fructose fruits. Veggies are your best friend when it comes to juicing. I think that's great. Good morning. Good morning, Susan. Thank you so much for joining. And then I'm going to discuss and answer Susan's question right here real quick, and then I'm going to get right into the foods. And I have a number of different foods for you guys today. Today we'll have a little bit of an umbrella. You guys know that I don't always like to create an umbrella. So what I mean by that is, a whole category of vegetables, just saying green vegetables. All right. I like to be more specific with you guys than in other types of streams that we've had and chats like gut health, just saying green vegetables. Well, what green vegetables are actually going to be the most beneficial for you when it comes to improving gut health and things of that nature? Today we can be a little bit more lenient on that because just of certain foods are very heart healthy, like nuts and seeds, especially if they're in moderation. But I am going to point out the specific ones that I want you guys to think about when it comes to lowering cholesterol or regulating cholesterol levels. High fiber foods. Yes, fiber is actually a very good one, Susan. You're going to hear me mention that quite a bit. A lot of the foods are going to be very good in fiber levels. Fiber is very healthy for the heart. It's one of the nutrients that I list quite a few times actually in my videos when it comes to heart health and things of that nature. But soluble fiber, very heart healthy. That's why I always go back to things like oatmeal. And oatmeal is always kind of marketed as very heart healthy, and a lot of that has to do with the high levels of soluble fiber that you'll find in oatmeal. So fiber, very good for cholesterol and regulating cholesterol. All right, that's one of the nutrients that we'll want. So let's get right into the foods here, guys. One of the best, I will say, and it's growing on me more and more. I'd say like month to month, the more research and the more literature that comes out, I've added it to my diet in moderation, guys, so I'm not overdoing it. But avocados would be a good one to start with, guys. They're very popular. They're easy to find. Just make sure you're not overdoing it because it is a fat source. So you are going to get a little bit more calories from avocado. But again, you would have to be eating quite a bit of avocado to really get a bunch of calories into your diet. So you don't have to overdo it. Like half an avocado a day is more than enough to get the nutrients we're going to talk about that are going to help to lower cholesterol and improve heart health in general. So avocados would be the first one that I would start with. Again, very popular right now, a fruit. So very popular fruit right now that again you can find at most grocery stores, markets, things of that nature. I would add, half an avocado if you can. Now, why avocado? Again, I've talked about this a little bit, but they are truly a superfood when we think about it. All right, they have all of the nutrients, so micronutrients. They have a lot of health benefits to them that a lot of other foods don't have. And they're really in a league of their own when it comes to a fat source. A lot of people will compare them to olive oil, but with olive oil, it's very healthy fat source, but you're not getting any of the micronutrients that avocado actually provides you. Any of the fiber that avocados are going to provide you, which is, again, going to be very helpful when it comes to lowering cholesterol. So avocados, again, doesn't have to be a ton. I'm not saying eat 2 avocados per day. It can be half an avocado today, but just try to add a little bit each and every day if you can, or every other day. The studies show that, it doesn't have to be every day. I don't even think in the studies that I read it was every day, but just trying to get it as consistently as possible. So why, and this is going to go back to Susan's question, why I love Susan's question with fiber, because you are going to hear me mention fiber quite a bit. All right, so let's talk about the nutrients that avocados have that are going to be especially helpful when it comes to lowering cholesterol. All right, we already know that they're nutrient dense, but first we know fiber, so they're high in fiber, but the important one is that they're a rich source. A lot of the fats, you guys heard me mention fats, a lot of the fats are monounsaturated fats. So a healthy fat, another healthy fat would be polyunsaturated fats, which they do have a little bit of, and omega-3s and stuff like that. But a lot of the fat that you find in avocados is monounsaturated fat. And we know that monounsaturated fats and fiber are two very important nutrients when it comes to lowering bad LDL cholesterol. So that's why I put avocados first. I think avocados are amazing. If you can add, like I said, half an avocado a day, a quarter of an avocado a day, you can add it to smoothies. You can put it on toast. You can have it as almost like guacamole and other types of dips and stuff like that. People even make avocado ice cream. I've seen recipes for. So again, not only is it easy to find, but it's also easy to add to the diet. And good morning, Stacy. Thank you so much for joining us again today. I really appreciate having you here. Good morning to you. So avocados is the first one. Again, high in monounsaturated fats and high in fiber, two vital nutrients when it comes to lowering bad LDL cholesterol. All right, lowering and regulating. Remember, when I talk about lowering, we're not eliminating bad LDL cholesterol. We are just getting it to healthy levels. The other important thing about avocados, all right, and we have to mention this as well, not only is it going to help to lower bad LDL cholesterol, which is our whole point and discussion for today, but it's also going to help to raise good HDL cholesterol, which is very important as well. So we're getting, the 2-for-1 when we add avocados to our diet. We are lowering bad LDL cholesterol and lowering total cholesterol and increasing good HDL cholesterol. All right, so very nice cholesterol lowering effects when it comes to numerous studies, guys. Again, I'm not handpicking one or two studies when I mention these foods. We see these in multiple studies, all right, that it's actually supported. Avocados can help. They have the potential to help lower cholesterol. Love avocado. Nice, Hagley. I think a lot of people kind of agree with you. A lot of people are big fans of avocado. I think it's only getting more and more popular as times go on. There's a big avocado sort of boom over the last few years, I feel like. Sorry, I'm just drinking water here too. And remember, guys, keep hydrated as well. That's a big thing. Also, when we're talking about lifestyle, a lot of people are chronically dehydrated. So I'll just point that out as I'm taking a sip of water, which you'll probably, hopefully not hear me, but if you hear a pause, I'm just taking a little sip of water. So avocados. The other nice thing about avocados, all right, we've seen in studies where we talked about obesity already, all right, but people who were dealing with obesity, all right, and who had high LDL cholesterol levels, if they had at least half of an avocado, and I think the study actually pointed to 1 avocado per day, but even half an avocado showed tremendous benefits when it came to lowering LDL cholesterol levels. So when you compared those individuals who were dealing with symptoms of obesity, and again, if you are dealing with symptoms of obesity, all right, or dealing with obesity, you'll want to try to limit calories to lose weight, all right, to get down to a healthier weight. Again, it's just depending on your own situation, but getting out of that obesity sort of measure and getting into a healthier weight is obviously going to have benefits when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. But we do see in studies that even if you are obese, I'm not saying that you should remain overweight or anything like that, but I'm saying avocados are so powerful when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. People who were obese, if they ate at least half an avocado, half to 1 avocado per day, it did lower their LDL cholesterol levels as well, which is tremendous. That's why I'm saying it's a superfood when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels and cholesterol in general. So again, avocados, very good at lowering total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, raising good HDL cholesterol. All right, perfect food. And then the other thing, it's going to lower triglyceride levels in the blood, which is tremendous for heart health. Again, it's going to have tremendous heart benefits also. Right, so we're talking about cholesterol today. I just pointed out the cholesterol benefits, but it's going to have a tremendous amount of overall heart health benefits. I could go on, especially with monounsaturated fats and fiber. All right, so it's going to help regulate blood pressure. It's going to help prevent atherosclerosis, so a hardening of the arteries and blood vessels. All right, plaque buildup in the arteries, blockages, things like that. But again, tremendous food when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels naturally. It's a good fiber source. Well, coleslaw. So if we're thinking about coleslaw and you're making coleslaw, I believe coleslaw is, carrots, a little bit of carrots and cabbage. Cabbage is a good source of fiber. Even carrots are a little bit as well, if we're talking about the same thing. So coleslaw, all right, a lot of the times made from cabbage. All right, cabbage is a good source of fiber, and then also a good source of prebiotics and probiotics, which I really like. And also, so you guys know, is a nice fiber food if you are eating, especially if you're getting vegetables in. All right, there's some decent vegetables that we'll get into that have good fiber levels. Cabbage can be one of them. Just got to be careful when you're eating coleslaw. A lot of the times the recipe will call for mayonnaise and things like that. So just watch out that we're not overdoing it on saturated fats or calories in general. So just be careful with that, Magali. Yeah, and make sure ripe green avocados always best. Brown usually means that they've gone bad. So always stick with that nice ripe green color. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. And then a nice little benefit is, you can keep them in a brown paper bag. That way they can last a little bit longer. All right, so let's go into our next food, guys. So one I really love is avocados. The next one is going to be those healthy nuts that we talked about, different types of nut varieties. And again, I know a lot of people who are listening right now are big fans of nuts and seeds. We're going to specifically talk about nut varieties right now and which type of nuts, like walnuts, are going to be the most beneficial for lowering cholesterol. All right, so again, a lot of people are going to be happy. Just make sure, guys, if you are adding these nut varieties to your diet, please make sure that you're eating them in moderation. All right, if you're overdoing it, all right, again, you're going to be overdoing it on calories, and then that can lead to obesity. So just make sure that we are eating nuts, and when I talk about seeds a little bit later, we are consuming them in moderation. So especially if you're eating multiple kinds, so like almonds, walnuts, the things that I'll mention, if you're eating them at multiple varieties a day, you're going to definitely want to make sure that you're keeping them in moderation. When I have almonds, I usually limit them to 10 at a time. So that's my serving. Each time I have almonds or even like walnuts and things like that, it's usually 8 to 10. Or I'll measure it out. But at this point, I've done it so much, it usually goes out to 8 to 10. All right, and that's my limit. So let's talk about which nut varieties. All right, you guys know that I am a huge fan of walnuts. All right, and why am I a huge fan of walnuts? They offer so many different nutrients and have so many different healthy fat sources. The big one is, all right, in which a lot of other nuts and plants and things of that nature is omega-3s. All right, they're one of the few plant-based foods out there. So, like non-meat or fish and things of that nature. Salmon would be a big one. Sardines. I believe mackerel might be another one. We know those are high in omega-3s, but there's people out there who are eating a diet that doesn't consist of those foods. So walnuts is a great source of omega-3s. All right, omega-3 fatty acids. So they're a type of polyunsaturated fat. And again, there's numerous studies that show that these omega-3 fatty acids have a correlation to improvement when it comes to heart health and cholesterol. All right, so walnuts are a tremendous source, a tremendous food source when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. The other important thing, we've already talked about it, they're very high in monounsaturated fats. So again, a vital nutrient when it comes to heart health and especially lowering cholesterol levels. So walnuts are great. almonds are also great, guys. So if I was going to pick two, walnuts and almonds, probably walnuts first. Again, I usually go almonds, but today I'll go walnuts. But you can't go wrong with either of them. All right. So walnuts, very high in monounsaturated fats, again, which is tremendous for lowering cholesterol levels naturally. Right. And then also we know that they're a good source of omega-3 fatty acids, which studies have shown provide heart health benefits, one of which being the regulation of cholesterol. Not to mention, we already know that walnuts are very nutrient dense, and I'll talk a little bit about which is the most important micronutrients. So, things like your calcium, magnesium, things of that nature, which ones are important for heart health, and especially related to cholesterol, lowering cholesterol levels. The other nice thing, right, when it comes to walnuts is that they're a very good source in a compound, right, or compounds known as phytosterols, guys. Now, why is that important? Right, phytosterols are a type of plant compound which is going to be able to help lower cholesterol levels because it blocks its absorption into the body. So phytosterols, guys, nuts and seeds are going to be a great source of these phytosterols. And again, phytosterols, we see these important plant compounds have tremendous benefits when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. So total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, which is amazing. Again, you'll get those in almonds and you'll get those in walnuts. There's a few other ones, but they're very, very high in almonds and walnuts. So again, I would pick those two if you're specifically looking for a nut variety to add to your diet that's going to help lower cholesterol. Walnuts and almonds are my favorite. Nice, Stacy. That's great then. I see some good ones mentioned in chat. I think we'll get to some of these ones, guys. But yes, walnuts and almonds. That's awesome. It's funny because you said that, and then now I'm bringing up walnuts and almonds. Yeah, and exactly. Important to include them in your macronutrients, guys. So remember, I talk about micronutrients all the time, but as Stacy's pointing out, macronutrients are just as important. Like I'm talking about healthy fats and why I'm saying eat them in moderation. Because we know macronutrients are protein, carbs, and healthy fats or fats. Some people will add fiber. It doesn't really matter. You can the base three is going to be carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Remember, protein has 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrates also have 4 calories per gram. But the reason why I tell you all the time, keep fats in moderation, is because fats have 9 calories per gram. So if we're overdoing it on nuts and seeds and things of that nature, then we're getting more and more calories. Walnuts are number 1 for you, Megala. Nice. Pistachios and macadamia. Yeah, pistachios are I always see in chat one of the favorites. That's why I just did a pistachio video. It's so funny. Everyone was bringing them up in chat all the time, and they are heart healthy. So if I was going to choose two, I would go with the walnuts and the almonds, but yes, pistachios will provide heart health benefits. But again, I did that video because I know that there's a lot of fans of pistachios out there. Jelu, what about cashews? Cashews are going to be heart healthy, absolutely, especially in moderation. They're a little bit higher in carbohydrates, but you're going to get good source of healthy fats, of course, a good source of fiber. What they won't provide, though, is a good source of those phytosterols, all right? So they're not as high in phytosterols. They're also not as high or as rich in amino acids, and an important one, especially for heart health and with cholesterol, more so for blood pressure, but they're not as high in amino acids like L-arginine. And that's important, especially for regulating blood pressure, but also for cholesterol as well. That's why I would tend to lean towards almonds and walnuts over something like cashew, macadamia nuts, things of that nature. Brazil nuts are fairly good as well too, guys. Maybe that might be the third, but nuts would be almonds and walnuts. So just make sure you're keeping that in moderation, guys. All right, the other nice thing that we need to make sure, all right, when it comes to discussing lowering bad LDL cholesterol is that almonds and walnuts, all right, especially if you have the almonds with the skin on. So if they're not blanched or anything of that nature, they have potent antioxidants that are also going to help with heart health, all right, inflammation and things of that nature. All right, it can help reduce plaque buildup in the arteries or reduce damaging free radicals that are going to lead to a reduction in blood vessel health. So it could lead to atherosclerosis and other complications that could lead to heart disease. All right, so walnuts and almonds, guys. Olive oil, nice. Cold extract, yes. Sardines, Mufasa, yeah. I'm a big fan of olive oil, absolutely. Again, in moderation. Just always keep note that you are getting, yes, a good source of macronutrients, a little bit of vitamin E in olive oil, but you're losing out on a little bit of the micronutrients that you would get from things like almonds, walnuts, and avocados. But that's not to say that olive oil is bad. Again, it's just which foods are at the top for you guys. Which ones do you guys want to really focus on? That's always my goal when I talk about these topics. You know, again, I always go back to the list. There's some lists when you search things like cholesterol or gut health or superfoods, lists of like 80 foods. All right, not all of them are going to be as good as the ones that, you know, are in the top 10. So I like to give you guys the best of the best. That way it's not so confusing. It's simplified. I like to kind of give the simplified version of things. And you know, to be truly honest, if you're having a group of superfoods that contains almost 100 foods, some of them are not going to be superfoods, guys. And when same thing applies when we talk about lowering cholesterol, you know, improving gut health. If we're having these big long lists, some of those foods aren't going to be all that beneficial. All right, so if I'm reading number 79 and comparing it to number 3, you know, is it really going to be beneficial for cholesterol levels and improving cholesterol levels? It might be a little bit more, it might have some benefits, but it might be a little bit on the, non-significant side, I would say. And thank you so much, guys, for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. 14 thumbs up there already. Thank you so much, guys. All right, now let's talk a little bit about whole grains, because I know that I've seen in chat people have mentioned them. Like I've seen Mufasa, I think Sonia had mentioned them. So let's talk a little bit about whole grains here, guys. And I've already mentioned oats. All right, so oats would be a good one. Why oats? All right, well, we know, like I mentioned before, I think oats are almost maybe you guys haven't heard it as often as I've heard it. Maybe because I'm just I do so much of research, read so much literature and things like that. Not to say you guys don't, but you know, I always hear oatmeal and oats coming up when it comes to improving heart health and when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels, total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, getting that good regulation. So oats is a great one. All right, that's a nice starter to have. All right, and the thing with oatmeal, all right, is you can start it off in the mornings. All right, it's very easy to add to your diet. You can have it in your smoothies. You can make different types of recipes with it, with like yogurt and things like that. You can have it, I think I said, in your smoothies, or you can just have a regular bowl of oatmeal and put things like blueberries and things like that. Adding, you know, healthy fat sources to oatmeal. I think oatmeal is one of the easiest things that you can add to your diet. If you're not a big fan of oatmeal, just add a little bit to your smoothies. All right, you won't even taste it. And I think it actually improves the taste of smoothies. All right, but you can always find, I think, at least for me and with clients that I've worked with, you can always find recipes that are going to make oatmeal sort of pleasing and pleasant and satiating for yourself. I don't know a lot of people who don't enjoy a recipe of a little bit of oatmeal with almond milk and then cinnamon and a little bit of apple, like half of an apple. Very delicious. Most people enjoy that, even with like blueberries and things of that nature. It's a nice way to start off. Now, why am I saying oatmeal first? Well, one, again, they are especially helpful because of the nutrients that they contain. They're very high in nutrients that are going to help to lower cholesterol levels. All right, and we see this with numerous studies. All right. Again, we have to eat it more on a consistent basis than we do other foods that I've mentioned. All right, and the other foods mentioned already were fat sources. Again, this is going to be a complex carbohydrate, so not a simple carbohydrate. All right, so it's slower digesting, which is nice. So again, oats and oatmeal are going to be very, very high in soluble fiber, and that's usually what you'll see marketed on like packaging and marketing stuff when it comes to cholesterol and oatmeal. Very, very high in soluble fiber, which again we see through studies is going to be very helpful in lowering total cholesterol and bad LDL cholesterol levels. Right? But the important thing is, we need to break it down even more. And why am I mentioning oatmeal? Yes, it contains soluble fiber, but there's a ton of foods that contain soluble fiber, especially when it comes to whole grains. All right? So whole grains, like oatmeal, they contain a very beneficial compound, a type of soluble fiber that's very beneficial, and we've seen this again in numerous studies. It's very beneficial in lowering both total cholesterol and bad LDL cholesterol, and it's called beta-glucan. You guys might have heard me mention that before in a chat, but it contains beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that is very beneficial for lowering total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol. Again, which is tremendous. And there's been numerous studies. I think I've seen tens of studies that goes to show how important oatmeal is and oats for lowering cholesterol levels. And I know there's more out there. All right, there's more out there. And those are just some of the ones that I read. Again, you will have to eat them a little bit more often than some of the other ones, but every day, maybe not so much, but at least getting it, 3 to 5 times a week. 3 to 5 times a week. And like I said, it's an easy way to start your morning. Again, you don't have to overdo it. I can't really list like a 1/3 of a cup or a 1/4 cup because it depends on the type of oats you're eating. Like steel cut oats are really, really good. Sort of old-fashioned rolled oats are very good. Sort of the non-instant oats. These are the oats that I'm talking about, guys. It's hard to say like a 1/3 of a cup or a 1/4 of a cup or half a cup because the calories and the amount of complex carbohydrates that's in them and protein and fat is going to change from sort of different varieties and different sort of sources. So just keep it in moderation. Read the labels. You guys will know what one serving is, and then you can just go from there. But oats, very, very healthy. Yes, alpha lipo. Although they do contain alpha linolenic acid. That's right. Stacy. Sorry, guys, I'm just catching up on comments here. So like you guys know, you guys have heard enough streams from me. Sometimes I'll go on my rants and I'll miss a few, but I always come back. Fenugreek seeds. Nice. I haven't heard of fenugreek in a very long time, Stacy. I have a few videos on that. Help too. Yes, absolutely they do. It's a nice way to add to a number of different recipes. Like you said, homemade soups. You can add. Some people will even add them to oatmeal or to their smoothies and anything like that. So, very, very good. So we know oatmeal is a good one, guys. So 3 to 5 times a week. A little bit more regular. Tons of research that shows whole grains and the correlation to lowering of the risk of heart disease and especially lowering LDL cholesterol, like I mentioned with you guys, and total cholesterol. Remember, we're not just talking about bad LDL cholesterol. But another one that I would say for especially lowering total cholesterol, guys, we have oats, and I would say barley might be at the top. Again, there's tons of whole grains out there, guys, that you guys know. But again, I want to keep it more simplified. I'd say barley just because it's super rich in that beta-glucan compound. All right. And again, why is that so important? Those beta-glucan compounds, so the soluble fibers, are going to help lower bad LDL cholesterol. And that's what the studies are showing. So again, I'm going to pick out the best of the best for you guys. So if I was choosing 1 or 2, I would go with oatmeal. I'd probably go with oats first and then probably barley, but both are fine. But, again, some of these foods that I'm listing and the reasons why, you guys can go out and search, all right, other whole grains. There's tons of them out there, all right, but are they high in these types of soluble fibers? Are they high in certain vitamins, minerals, plant compounds? And the other good thing that we have to mention, are they high in fiber? All right, again, that's where oats really shine. Yes, they're a good source of micronutrients. They're a healthy macronutrient. They consist of those antioxidant plant compounds that are going to be especially helpful for heart health and especially helpful for lowering cholesterol. But are they high in fiber? And are they non-refined? Are they actually a complex carbohydrate? Because, I would always recommend a complex carbohydrate over a simple carbohydrate. All right, Mufasa. I see a lot of Mufasa comments in here. I can't keep up with you, my friend. I don't eat. Yeah, stay away from the instant oats. Too much sugar. It's more of a simple carbohydrate than a complex carbohydrate. That's for sure. A lot of people will turn to those instant Quaker oat, I think, variety ones. Again, try to stay away from those. Stick to the old-fashioned or steel-cut oats as best you can. That's going to give you the most benefit when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels, guys. All right, so whole grains, I'd go with oatmeal. You can't go wrong. That's going to be a superfood for you when it comes to lowering LDL cholesterol. All right, very high in soluble fiber. Great in those macro and micronutrients that we know are going to be helping to regulate cholesterol levels. And we see these in numerous studies. Oatmeal and probably barley would be next. All right, so let's continue on. Another good one here. All right, what fruits and berries? And then we need to talk about vegetables after, guys. All right, because there is specific vegetables that are going to help to lower cholesterol levels. Again, I don't want to say all cruciferous vegetables or all dark leafy green vegetables. Anyone can do that. All right, but we want to break down and go list by list and see which ones are actually the most beneficial for you. All right. So when it comes to, you guys have heard me sing the praises of berries. Things like blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, which a lot of people might not remember as much as strawberries and blueberries. But don't forget your blackberries, guys. Easily in my top 5 berries. Very high in antioxidants, tons of micronutrients, good in fiber, which again is going to lead into our lowering of cholesterol discussion. But blueberries, I think when it comes to berries, I think one of the ones that we can't forget in lowering cholesterol levels, and I'm speaking about lowering bad LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol, and one that you guys might not have thought of right off the bat is strawberries. Strawberries is very important when it comes to lowering cholesterol, and we'll get into why. My favorite YouTube channel. Well, thank you so much, Jelu. I really, really appreciate that. All right, I'm not missing any comments here or any specific questions. Well, thank you so much, Jelu. I'm glad that you enjoy the channel, and I do appreciate you being in here. So, guys, strawberries are a great one. Why? Because strawberries, they're actually very, very high in antioxidants. A lot of people, are going to eat strawberries because of the flavor and the taste, and they're very pleasant to eat. They're great in the summertime, but they're very moderate to low in calories, so you can eat a decent amount of them. It's going to help keep you satiated. They're a great source of soluble fiber. All right, so they're high in soluble fiber, which is can be quite rare for fruits. But another thing is strawberries are a really good source of a specific fiber called pectin. And there's been tons of studies again out there, guys, that show that pectin, all right, that type of unique soluble fiber can lower cholesterol to a significant amount. So adding strawberries is a great way to lower total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol. All right, and significantly lower those bad cholesterols. The other nice thing is we know things like strawberries are high in plant compounds. So not only are they going to lower bad LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol, but you're going to get that 2-for-1 where they're actually going to help increase good HDL cholesterol. So I love that 2-for-1 deal. All right. That lowering of bad LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol, guys, and increasing good HDL cholesterol. It doesn't get better than that. Hey, no problem, Mufasa. All good. All good. So strawberries would be a good one. Another one that you guys will hear me talk about a lot is, and you guys have heard me talk about a lot, is blueberries. All right, blueberries, very heart healthy. And why? Because they're a rich source of soluble fiber. We know that they have tons of antioxidants. They're probably the highest pound for pound when it comes to antioxidant capacity out of any other fruit, any other berry, and really almost any other food choice. So they're super high in soluble fiber, but also those antioxidants. And the thing I was thinking about is I was trying to remember the name of the antioxidant that's going to be found in both strawberries and blueberries. And it's kind of surprising in strawberries because they're usually only found in purple or blue colored fruits and vegetables or foods like eggplant, beets, grapes, things of that nature, is they are high in anthocyanins, which again is going to be very, very important for reducing inflammation, very important for heart health overall, reducing the risk of heart disease, but also lowering cholesterol levels. So blueberries and strawberries, even though they aren't blue or purple, have those high anthocyanin antioxidants. Love your channel. First time for me. Oh, nice. And eating a lot of strawberries in a shake with coconut milk and banana. Nice. That's awesome, Magali. I'm so glad to have you here then. You know, as your first time listening, thank you so much for the compliment. And it's great to have you here, just like it's great to have everyone else. And I appreciate you mentioning it's your first time. I love hearing that. If it's anyone else's first time, listening into the channel, then let me know, because it's great to have you guys here. And I really appreciate you guys all taking the time to stop in and to listen. So remember, guys, berries like strawberries and blueberries are going to be great for reducing cholesterol, great for reducing bad LDL cholesterol, but also getting that 2-for-1 deal where you're getting an increase in good HDL cholesterol. And that's because of the specific plant compounds that they contain, and also because of the high soluble fiber content and those anthocyanins that we were talking about. And the pectin levels. All right, don't forget about that. That's why I could go on and on about like these types of fruits. When it comes to berries, like blueberries, strawberries, blackberries even, guys, like I mentioned before, we can't underestimate just all of the benefits that they actually have. And this is why I don't throw all of the fruits into one category. This is why I like giving you guys like one or two of the top. Blueberries and strawberries are some of the best ones that you guys can add to your diets when it comes to reducing LDL cholesterol. Strawberries I would put at number 1, guys. Now, I know that you guys, there's a lot of fruit fans out there. Oh, Patricia, your first time too. At the lower. Excellent. Well, then I'm glad it's your first time here, and I'm glad that that's a good topic for us. So, perfect. I think... You think I can add some oats? Yes, I would add. I don't like to give too much nutritional advice without knowing your specific goals and your specific situation, Magali. But I don't think you can go wrong with adding the oats to that smoothie. I think you just want to keep it in moderation, like anything else, like I always say, as long as you don't have any sensitivities to oats or... I haven't heard of like oats allergy before, but just make sure it's a safe food for you. As long as it's safe, which it is for most people, I think you're just fine adding oats into there. But again, just be careful, make sure it's right for you. And if you've had oats before and it's not causing any sensitivity issues or anything like that, oats can make a nice addition to that. And they would add a little bit of a complex carb. You do have banana in there already. So the reason why I'm saying keep it in moderation is you just don't want to overdo it on calories and carbohydrates specifically. The strawberries in there are going to add a little bit too. The coconut milk is going to be your fat source. If anything, right, maybe adding a little bit of a protein source might be good for you. Just so it's a nice, well-balanced, managed macronutrient smoothie. But again, that's getting into some detail here. To simplify it, I think oats, like I said, I add to my smoothies all the time. And again, it's not that much. Sometimes it's a quarter of a cup, and that's really all I need because, I don't want to overdo it on calories. And I have a banana in there too. So again, if oats are right for you and they're healthy for you, you don't have any sensitivities, I would have them in moderation. So again, let's pick out some other ones. Like I was saying, I know that and thank you, Magali, for the question. I think because there's a lot of people who do enjoy fruit, especially this time of the year. We've mentioned blueberries, we mentioned strawberries. I want to give you guys a couple more fruits that we see in the literature and in the reviews that are good for lowering cholesterol levels. All right. Another one that you guys might be happy to hear is actually apples. So again, I love that apples came up here when I was doing the research. Why? Because apples are very easy to find. You're going to find them at most grocery stores. You're going to find them at most markets. And they're almost like a year-round fruit. You can find them year-round and, easy to add to your diet. You can just eat them, raw. Just grab it when you want it. And, like I said, very versatile. You can add them to a bunch of different recipes. So apples are another good ones, guys. Apples can be beneficial for lowering cholesterol. Again, a lot of it has to do with the fiber. That's why I always say try to eat as much fibrous fruits as you can and try to stay away from the high sugary fruits, or at least keep them in moderation. I don't want to say stay away from them, but have them in moderation, guys. So like your pineapple, mangoes, papayas, more exotic fruits, things like that. It's not to say that they're bad for you. It's just that you have to watch out for the amount of fructose and the blood sugar spikes that they can cause and things of that nature. You just have to be, and the calories, just have to be mindful of that. So apples are another good one. And then, I would throw in, if I was going to say one more, is probably grapefruit. And the reason why I'm going to say grapefruit is that it's a very good source of pectin, So very high in soluble fiber, which is great. So grapefruit is another good one. Again, sometimes you'll see in lists like citrus fruits. We got to put at the top grapefruit, guys, because how many citrus fruits could I go on and list? I could probably list 20 right off the top of my head. You guys probably could as well. All right, so grapefruit I would put up at the top as well. So if I was going to recommend some to you guys, it would be blueberries, strawberries, all right, apples, and grapefruit. All right, so just be careful. Not adding too much fruit to your diet. Keep it in moderation, but those are going to be the good ones for lowering cholesterol levels, guys. And again, a lot of it has to do with the soluble fiber, with the pectin, all right? And then also, we see just because of the plant compounds, so antioxidants, anti-inflammatory effects, the bioactive compounds found in these berries and fruits are going to be very beneficial when it comes to not only heart health, but also lowering cholesterol levels. And that one does not come into play, Crutch. I can say that very confidently. One Harvard stated that coconut is pure poison. I'm not sure what his take on that, Jackson, is. There's so many takes. It's hard for me to say. You'll hear. I think I talked about last time. People having a take. And hello, Tammy. Thank you so much. And great to have you in here, Tammy, as always. Thank you for stopping by. But as I was going to say, Jackson, I talked about last time, you'll hear people discuss things like flaxseed is bad for you. Chia is bad for you. Things like that, where if we can eat them in moderation, they can actually be quite good for heart health also. They do have benefits. So I don't know what the take of coconut being pure poison is. It's an interesting take. I would need to hear and listen to it. So I won't comment on that specifically. Also, not knowing who the Harvard professor is, things of that nature. So I'll kind of just leave it at that. Just because I'm not sure what the take is and what the reasoning is. And, there's so many takes out there. Like, even you'll read things like I said, flaxseed, chia seed. A lot of the times, it's almost like every food needs to be reduced off the diet. But again, I won't comment on that. I'd have to listen to it. But again, it's kind of an interesting take. I've never heard it, but maybe I'll have to look into it more. Thanks for bringing it up, Jackson. Just thought I did, Crush. That was funny because I'm reading all the healthy ones, and you're throwing that one in for me. And hello again, Tammy. Thank you so much for joining us. Jelu, sorry I missed your comment up there. What about blackened raspberries? Also your first time, Jelu. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Blackberries for sure, and raspberries are good as well. Raspberries are very underrated. They're a great source of fiber. Again, if we're getting into the best and the best, I would still stick with the 4 that I gave you. But again, blackberries are going to be good. Raspberries, very underrated fruit and often overlooked fruit. But raspberries and blackberries. Blackberries a little bit higher in calories, but still moderate to low. Raspberries low in calories. Both excellent sources of fiber. Both are going to have some of the highest antioxidant foods that you can have. All right, and they're going to have soluble fiber. So, yes, blackened raspberries, I think, are going to be great. And I think you could add them to your diet, and they're going to be beneficial for you when it comes to lowering cholesterol. Blackberries are very underrated, I think, just with all of the benefits that come from them. But that's a great question, and thank you for pointing that out because, raspberries was sort of on the tip of my tongue, but I did forget to bring it up. So thank you, Jelu, for letting me know, or for reminding me, I should say. We used to coconut all the time, and I was surprised when I saw that. Yeah, Jackson, it's interesting. Magaleaf, what about flaxseed oil? You hear the praises of flaxseed oil all the time, even from when I started getting into nutrition, which was, 15 years ago. Flaxseed oil being very beneficial. I don't see a problem with it if you're having it in moderation. Again, I like the whole flax seeds just because you're going to get more. When it comes to lowering cholesterol, you're going to get more of the benefit from the whole seed. So like grounded flax seed. Why? Because you're getting more of the fiber than you are with the oil. So I will point that out. Also, you can regulate the amount of calories a little bit easier. I mean, sure, you can measure out the flaxseed oil, but it's not as satiating, again, because you're not getting that fiber. You're getting a few extra micronutrients from the whole flaxseed, so it could be grounded up again as well. So that's why I always prefer the whole version as opposed to the oil. But again, there's nothing wrong with the oil. Again, that's just my take on flaxseed in general, but I would go with the whole flaxseed, especially if we're looking for heart health and things like that. But again, that's not to say that flaxseed is bad. If I was going for heart health, though, and lowering cholesterol, the reason why, again, I would go with the whole flaxseed, you're getting that healthy dietary fiber, all right, that healthy fiber source. And again, that's what's going to give you the best bang for your buck when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. So thank you, Magali. That's a great question. I love the oils, guys. Like don't get me wrong. You guys always, it might sound like I'm against like olive oil and flaxseed oil, and there's tons of different oils like coconut oil. I'm definitely not. It's just if I had a preference to choose one over the other, that would be my preference. To Thailand, everyone eats coconut. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You'll hear these different takes. Again, that's why I don't really comment on them. I haven't read anything, that especially with coconut being described in that nature. So, I just won't comment on it. Again, you guys have probably read the nutritional values of some of these foods, and I think if you guys do the research as well, then you guys can very easily pick what foods are going to be good to add to your diet or which ones aren't. So again, because I haven't read that take or even heard it described in that way, it's just something that it's really hard for me to comment on specifically. But again, I do appreciate all the different takes that are out there. Again, I don't like to subscribe to the ideology, I guess, is there's like the best thing out there for you when it comes to eating certain diets, following certain diets. With foods, of course, that's why I'm listing off foods here for you guys, like blueberries, grapefruits, strawberries, apples, things of that nature, because those are going to be the best for lowering cholesterol. But when it comes to diet, say like keto or intermittent fasting or paleo, vegan, just eating a well-balanced diet of macronutrients. Again, I don't think that there's really a best. I think it's the best is going to be specifically for you that you can maintain and eat in the long run. And that's going to help you to maintain, a maintenance of calories so that you're not gaining weight. Or if you are trying to lose weight, that you can keep a deficit of calories in. I think that's always going to be the best. All right, let's keep going here, guys. All right, now, another nice one. Let's talk a little bit about specific vegetables. All right, because there's specific vegetables here, guys, which, you might not have thought of. And this is why I was really looking forward to this one for you guys. All right, and again, I'm not saying that flaxseed oil is bad or something like that. You guys will find lists out there with like canola oil is helpful for lowering LDL cholesterol. So again, not hating on oils or anything like that. I just have the preference of getting the fiber when it comes to lowering the cholesterol levels. All right, so let's talk a little bit about vegetables here, guys. We're sort of running the gamut, as you can tell, giving a little bit of everything. We've done avocados. We've done healthy fat sources from nuts. All right, we've done berries and fruits. We've also done whole grains. Now we're going to get on to vegetables. All right, now the reason why I'm going to pick these vegetables, and some of them might be a little bit, surprising to you, because you hear me talk about cruciferous vegetables all the time, like broccoli. Of course, broccoli is going to be heart healthy. All right, but what's the best? What's going to really help to lower cholesterol levels? I think some of the best ones, and again, this is going to go to how much fiber are in these types of vegetables, and that's why broccoli is good, because it is a good source of fiber. But specifically, the antioxidants, and then also specifically today, how much pectin is in it, because we know that pectin is one of the best sources of fiber, of soluble fiber, for lowering cholesterol. That's why you guys heard me say apples in the last one, because apples is a good source of pectin. That's why you guys heard me say grapefruits. Again, another good source of pectin. But a nice one that I will start with, guys, for lowering cholesterol levels when it comes to lowering cholesterol, I would start probably with eggplant. Again, you're going to get high levels of pectin, high levels of soluble fiber, and fiber in general. So remember, there's insoluble and soluble, but good levels of fiber in general from eggplant. But you're also going to get those anthocyanins, which we talked a little bit about before, which is going to be helpful for not only increasing heart health, all right, reducing inflammation, which can damage the cardiovascular system, but also see improvement in regulating cholesterol levels, which is tremendous. All right. And then also, again, we want to help prevent heart disease, and that's what these are going to do. These are the foods that we're going to be using to prevent heart disease, because I told you right off the bat, right off the beginning of this chat, a quarter of the population is going to deal with heart disease, all right, in the coming years. And the number is increasing constantly. So that means 1 out of every 4, at least right now, is going to deal with some sort of heart disease issue or risk factor that's connected to heart disease. One of the biggest right now is high cholesterol. Blood pressure being another one, plaque buildup, atherosclerosis, chronic inflammation. I can go on and on. So that's literally billions of people in the world that are going to be dealing with heart disease issues. Every country has their own diet. Yep, some are more definitely crutch. Absolutely. How about CBD oils? That's a very good question. You hear more and more about CBD oils all the time. I haven't done a ton of research into CBD oils. I probably should. I have it written down as a video idea. I just haven't gotten around to getting into that research right now. But I know that CBD oils are becoming very, very popular, especially for their anti-inflammatory benefits. So, if they do have anti-inflammatory benefits, possibly they could be good for heart health. Because inflammation is going to cause damage to the cardiovascular system and things of that nature. But I can't say for sure, just because I haven't read the literature on CBD oils and connected specifically to lowering cholesterol levels. But perhaps it's something that I should look at into, just because it's becoming so popular right now. And like I said, it's an idea that I have written down for a video idea. So thanks for bringing that up, Crutch. Nadine, what's the best substitute for rice? Well, that's a great question. Brown rice, or any rice in general, obviously is going to be popular in a lot of different diets. The best, I don't know about the best, but one that's going to be a good one, and one that's often sort of replaced, is actually quinoa. Quinoa is a big replacement for rice. It's a nice substitute for rice. And the thing is, with quinoa, some people will consider it a superfood, but we do know with quinoa, it is a complete protein. All right, it has all of the essential amino acids that we need for it to be a complete protein. So I think it's a good substitute for rice. Again, if it's healthy for you and you've had quinoa before and you haven't had any issues with it, I think it's a nice substitute. And quinoa is good. Again, you're going to get a nice protein source. It has all of the amino acids, very high in micronutrients, so a lot of important micronutrients. And I just think it's a very popular substitute for rice in general, especially if you're eating more of like a vegetarian or vegan diet. I think it's a really good substitute, but in general, it's a nice substitute for rice. They're very similar. Now, if you want one more, I would go with something like a lentil. I think is a nice substitute. I think even beans, like legumes. We'll get more into that, by the way, guys. But I think that's a nice substitute. But I would say quinoa might be a nice one. Oh, you have, and they work. That's good, Crutch. Yeah, I think we'll hear more and more in the literature of just how important they are. Everything always starts out with sort of an anti viewpoint to it. I remember when like protein powders, people were against protein powders back when I was starting out. It's the same thing with CBD oils, guys. And if you don't know what CBD oil is, look it up. And then you'll know why it could have sort of an anti-viewpoint to it. But, everything sort of starts out like that. But then the research starts emerging. Now I know people who are taking protein powders pretty much on a daily basis. And as more and more people learn about the positive effects of things, I think it just grows in popularity. CBD oil possibly could be something like that. I know a lot of athletes that take it that are using CBD oils. So, it's beginning to become more and more popular. So that's interesting, Crutch. Thank you. Nadine, you're very, very welcome. My pleasure. And both Marilyn and Tammy are absolutely correct. Rice or grated cauliflower is a nice one. I've never tried that, so that's possibly why it didn't come to my head first. But I have heard of a substitute for rice being that grated cauliflower. It's the same thing with cauliflower being used as like what is it, like chicken breast. People will do that. People use cauliflower for everything, it seems like, these days. And fortunate for me, I'm a fan of cauliflower, big fan. So thank you for that, Tammy and Marilyn. And I hope you guys are enjoying the chat. Thank you so much for all the engagement. I really love being able to, talk one-on-one or talk to the group here and specifically answer your questions in this format. So thank you so much to everyone who's joined. So again, let's go back to the vegetables portion. And again, we have to focus on on what are the best vegetables for lowering cholesterol levels. All right, and what does the research show? Because there's a bunch of different things that we're looking for, like pherols, like the phytonutrients, things of that nature. What does the research show? What are the best? What are the best of the best when it comes to vegetables? Because a lot of people would just say broccoli. We know that it's a healthy vegetable. We know it can provide heart health benefits, but is it the best when it comes to lowering cholesterol? Possibly. I would say it's good when it comes to overall heart health, but if you're looking for the best of the best when it comes to bad LDL cholesterol or just lowering cholesterol or regulating cholesterol in general, like I said, eggplant is a good one, again, because it's super high in pectin. It's super high in fiber in general, and it has tremendous antioxidants. All right, tons of antioxidants and anthocyanins, which I mentioned prior. So eggplant is another good one. Another one that might surprise some people is okra. Okra is a great choice when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. And I know not everyone is a huge fan of okra, or might not think of okra right off the top of the bat when it comes to vegetables and lowering cholesterol levels. But we see in studies that okra is great for lowering cholesterol, and the reason is because of their because of its high soluble fiber and great pectin levels. All right, pectin levels and even antioxidants. So eggplant and okra, guys. Hopefully two vegetables that maybe you didn't think of before. Again, we could always say broccoli, we can always say spinach or kale and things of that nature. But okra and eggplant, very good for overall cholesterol levels and regulating cholesterol levels. If I was to give one more, I think just look at anything that's high in fiber. I think cauliflower would even be a good one. All right, cauliflower is a nice one. It's not going to give you the rich source of pectin levels that you're going to get from like an eggplant, from okra, things of that nature, but it is going to give you obviously a good source of fiber, of antioxidants, of micronutrients. And again, those micronutrients are very important for heart health and lowering cholesterol levels. Like we know potassium and magnesium, two very important micronutrients for heart health. And it's also going to give you a whole bunch of bioactive and plant compounds that are going to be beneficial for lowering cholesterol. So I would say I would give those ones, guys. Start with your eggplant and okra. You can add them. There's a ton of recipes out there. I know, like even barbecuing, like if you barbecue, adding some of the eggplant to it is very easy, and it tastes great. I love thank you, Tammy. I love your chest. You're so kind. Make me feel so well. Oh, my pleasure, Tammy. That's great. That's sort of exactly what what I go for on here. Everyone is totally welcome. I appreciate everyone's viewpoint and everything of that nature. So thank you so much for the compliment, Tammy. And I hope everyone feels like that. So thank you again. I really do appreciate that. And you love fried okra. Well, that's the thing. There's so many ways to eat it and add it to your diet. You might not have thought of it. Even fried eggplant. And when I say fried, it doesn't have to be like in a ton of oil or anything like that. You can just fry it up with a little bit of olive oil or canola oil, whatever you want to use, because you will get some heart health benefits out of that, and lowering LDL cholesterol. But keep those oils, like I said, in moderation, guys. All right, especially if you're just frying up a little bit of eggplant, or okra. I think you can just keep them in moderation. But those would be the ones I go with, guys, just because of their high pectin and cholesterol lowering soluble fiber content. And we see them in studies all the time. So two surprising ones maybe to some people. But those would be the good ones that I would go with. Again, a lot of people would just mention broccoli or spinach, but eggplant and okra are two that pop up in the literature all the time. Oh, pectin supplements. Interesting, Tammy. I've never looked into pectin supplements before. I would give like a recommendation, but I've never actually looked into them before. But interesting. There's supplements really for everything out there right now, it seems. Now let's go to another one. All right, so those are the vegetables, guys. Those are probably my top 2 favorite vegetables when it comes to lowering cholesterol levels. Another good one that cannot be overlooked. Yeah, I do too, Crutch. I do as well. Yeah, avocado oil would be a nice one, Sean. Absolutely. And it's becoming more and more popular. And very good suggestion, just because the very first food that I mentioned when it came to lowering cholesterol levels was avocado. So, you're getting a lot of healthy monounsaturated fat, which is a very good nutrient when it comes to lowering total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol. Again, just keep it in moderation. Brushed is nice. I think that's awesome, Sean. Brushed is nice with avocado oil. That way you're not using too much, especially if you're grilling it. I think that's a tremendous suggestion. And garlic. Garlic's going to be on this list. Just a little heads up, guys. So Sean coming in strong with the lowering of cholesterol foods and tips. Thank you, Sean, for bringing that up. But one group of foods, guys, and again, I probably won't get into the best of the best here because they're really all really good. Maybe I'll give one, but one that can't be overlooked is legumes. So, I talked a little bit about just when in passing, things like beans, black beans, lentils, I said in passing, answering Nadine's question. But those are all tremendous sources of lowering cholesterol, total cholesterol, and especially bad LDL cholesterol. And we see this in a number of different studies. The reason why I wouldn't give a best, like when it comes to beans, is they're all very, very high in the nutrients that are going to be lowering cholesterol. Like if we're thinking about it, we could say black beans, kidney beans, navy beans, pinto beans. I could go on and on. Lima beans. They're going to be very high in soluble fiber, in fiber in general, and then also healthy minerals that are going to be effective at lowering bad LDL cholesterol. And again, you don't need to overdo it. I think in one study, there's something like less than a half a cup. This was per day, so you are eating it a little more regularly. But it was like a third of a cup, I believe, had sort of a great level of being able to lower bad LDL cholesterol. And that's of beans, guys. So like black beans, kidney beans, things of that nature. Lentils as well. All right, so legumes are a great food choice if you're trying to lower LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol, guys. And again, you can't really go wrong with any type of bean. Black beans are always thought of to be the best, but if you could look at it pound for pound, kidney beans are just as good. Pinto beans, I mentioned them before. They're also, one thing we should point out, and I don't see this a lot in the literature when it comes to legumes and things of that nature, but they're very high in magnesium and manganese, which is heart healthy. Even potassium to a certain extent. Now, it's not going to be like a banana, but they're very, very high in potassium as well, which is going to be super heart healthy also. The protein, a little bit from them, will help with heart health just because of the amino acids, but I would go more so for the soluble fiber and those minerals that I just talked about. Like the beans and lentils are going to have those amino acids, as I mentioned a little bit in Nadine's question. But we've seen numerous studies where just a little bit of beans and lentils and even things like peas. Peas are very, very good when it comes to like legumes. Like we often talk about beans and lentils in legumes, but peas are just as good. Green peas, you guys see them on the picture there, I think. But peas are also a good plant source for lowering LDL cholesterol. Right? And again, we see this in numerous studies. The other nice thing about beans and lentils and all those things is there's a lot of studies that are out there as well, as they can be very effective at at helping with weight management and weight loss. So going back to the lifestyle changes and things of that nature, guys. So if you are dealing with obesity right now, legumes can be very beneficial in helping to lose weight, which is going to be helpful for lowering cholesterol levels. If that's something that you need to, and again, not judgmental, coming out of the last year and a half that we've had, a lot of people are going to be dealing with this. So you're definitely not alone. Sean, I live for lentils and legumes in general. Very nice. Yeah, a lot of people do. Lentils are very popular, and legumes are also. They can be added to a number of different recipes. Some people will just eat them on their own, but like soups, things of that nature, stir fries, tons of ways to add these to your diet. And thank you so much for the thumbs up, guys. Like I said, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the support. So thank you so much. So legumes, guys, those, and again, just because they're super high in soluble fiber, if you guys can, notice a trend here, that soluble fiber is super high on the list of importance when it comes to lowering cholesterol, all right, and cholesterol levels, and especially bad LDL cholesterol. But fiber in general is very, very good. All right, but it's that soluble fiber that's really going to push these foods over the edge of, what makes a really good food choice for lowering cholesterol levels. All right, and that's why you get beans, lentils, things of that nature, always at the top of the list. That's why oats was up there. The beta-glucan that I mentioned before, that compound, the type of unique soluble fiber, that's what puts it up there. That's why it's so important. It's the same thing with the berries, having the pectin, all right, the cholesterol lowering effects of pectin, which is just tremendous that we see in the literature, which is going to push these foods into what are the best ones that are going to lower cholesterol. So let me go to garlic, because I had mentioned that before, all right, and garlic is very, very popular, I know, even with cooking. A lot of people will add it to different types of recipes just because it can be a little bit, if you're going to eat it on its own, it can be a little bit tough. Even adding it to smoothies can be a little bit tough in trying to get it down, because I can kind of speak from my own personal experience. It seems to not matter, even if I have like a banana, avocado, things like that. It doesn't matter how much garlic I put in. If it's like half a clove, because you're going to want to put in a decent amount, like not 1/8 of a clove. You're going to want to get those benefits out of it. So like half a clove, something of that nature. It doesn't really depend how much I put in. You're going to only taste the garlic in these smoothies. And that's just from my personal experience. If someone has a recipe where, you can mass garlic and put it into smoothies, that would be great. That'd make it a lot easier for me, but it is kind of easy for me to just add garlic into like sauces and things of that nature. So there's tons of ways to get garlic. Or grilling with it, cooking with it, like Sean mentioned. I think that's a great way. One of my favorite things is like asparagus and garlic with a little bit of olive oil. I think makes a really nice touch, and I think it's an easy way to get the garlic. And you're able to chop it up, which brings out the allicin even more. So that's a nice recipe. So there are ways to easily add garlic to your diet. But again, I've mentioned this before in passing. Garlic is one of the best foods overall for heart health and to reduce the risk of heart disease. And so I just want to point that out first before I talk about its cholesterol lowering abilities. Garlic is super heart healthy. All right. I think it can't be overlooked if we're talking about heart health. It's just so tremendous. It's such a great food choice for heart health. And we see this in numerous studies. As I said, and I say this in numerous videos, especially the ones that are pertaining to garlic. Garlic has not only been used for its taste, but as a natural medicine source as well, like colds and flus and things of that nature, even reducing chronic diseases now. We know the heart protective effects of garlic through these studies. All right, so garlic's a tremendous source for reducing the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease. So that's why I want to make sure that I mention it today. Now, what makes garlic so good? I mentioned things like monounsaturated fats, pectin, fiber, soluble fiber, things of that nature, like beta-glucan, different types of compounds, antioxidants. Those are what's bringing out the other foods. But, garlic is a little bit different. All right, so that's why it's another nice one to add in here as well. It has a ton of power, like really potent plant compounds, and a unique one to garlic that's called, you guys have probably heard of it, especially if you've seen any of my garlic videos. It has a active compound known as allicin. All right, so allicin is super effective at reducing cholesterol levels, and we see this again in numerous studies. The nice thing about garlic is what the studies are showing, and again, numerous studies. Yes, it can prevent chronic disease like heart disease. It can help lower and regulate blood pressure, but it can also lower total cholesterol and bad LDL cholesterol. So that's what makes it so heart healthy. It has a ton of heart health benefits, but going back to our chat just today, its cholesterol lowering abilities, it can lower and regulate both total cholesterol and bad LDL cholesterol levels, which is tremendous. Again, you're kind of getting that 2-for-1. I couldn't find too much on its ability and its effectiveness on increasing good HDL cholesterol, but just knowing that it can lower total cholesterol and bad LDL cholesterol, I think that's tremendous. And just its overall heart promoting abilities. Again, its reduction of inflammation can't go unstated. Inflammation is one of the most damaging things to our cardiovascular system these days. All right. Now, again, it's kind of funny because we always know people, can you use a garlic supplement? Yes, you can, but again, I would go for the raw garlic or grilled garlic as often as possible, just because you're going to get more of the allicin, and just because the little fiber or the fiber that is in garlic, you're going to be getting from that, as opposed to maybe like a powder supplement or capsuled supplement, something of that nature. But again, garlic cannot go understated, guys. I think we can't have the conversation of heart health and lowering cholesterol without including garlic in there. One of the best by far. So garlic is a great one. If you're a garlic fan, that's awesome. If you aren't, try to think of some or find some recipes where you can add garlic to. Like I said, I like to do garlic and asparagus. I think that's a great choice. You can fry it up with other vegetables. I think as Tammy said, Marilyn might have said, Sean Crutch even said grilling vegetables. So I think grilling it with garlic is very nice and is a great choice. Okay, so let's continue here. Let's go with one more. Right? And I think, like I said before, with the vegetables, I don't want to undersell the power of those dark leafy green vegetables, but I think you guys know at this point that dark leafy green vegetables are going to be healthy for our heart. They're going to give you a bunch of different benefits. Lowering cholesterol is one of them, but eggplant, okra, things of that nature are just going to be a little bit better. All right, where the dark leafy green vegetables come in, like your kale, spinach, things of that nature, is that they're high in compounds known as carotenoids, like lutein, for example, which is known in studies to lower the risk of heart disease. They're just potent antioxidants, guys. Again, which are going to reduce free radicals. And when we talk about reducing free radicals, again, that's just going to prevent damage to the cardiovascular system. When I say that, I'm talking about like our arteries, our blood vessels, all right? Reducing the risk of hardening of those, like atherosclerosis and things of that nature. So that's where dark leafy green vegetables come in, guys. The potent antioxidants like carotenoids and lutein, and the prevention of atherosclerosis, things of that nature. There have been some studies that show that lutein may help with reducing the risk of LDL cholesterol oxidation, but I couldn't really find too much on its ability other than that to lower cholesterol. That's why, again, I would put eggplant and okra just above those. Yes, it does have cholesterol promoting abilities, like the health promoting abilities, in its ability to reduce the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, which is absolutely great. But you're not going to get that pectin. You're not going to get those anthocyanins that you are from like eggplant and okra. Sorry, I was just trying to read Sean's comment there while I was speaking. I prefer the real thing over supplements. So my doctor reluctantly agreed. Yeah, it's just interesting. Sometimes I'll try to get as much as the real thing as well, Sean. Do I use supplements? Yes, for some things. In other things, I won't. Sometimes it can be hard to get a certain amount of, like, let's say, micronutrient or a nutrient in general. But it's kind of funny that he reluctantly agreed. But certain sources will give different opinions, and we've seen this come up a couple times. Sean, it's interesting that you're bringing up your personal experience too. We've seen it come up multiple times, and thank you so much, guys, for the 28 thumbs up. We are almost at that 30 goal, so thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the support today. We've been going 95 minutes strong with just discussing lowering of cholesterol. So I think that's tremendous, and I hope you guys are getting a lot of good value out of today's discussion. Now let's go with another one. I think this is a good one because it's totally different from anything that we've talked about, and that would be green tea. All right, we've seen that there's beneficial compounds in green tea that can not only improve heart health but also reduce the total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol. All right. So green tea, so many benefits when it comes to green tea. One that might surprise some people is that it can actually help lower LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol for that matter. And the nice thing about green tea is some studies even show that it has positive effects on good HDL cholesterol. So it can get that 2-for-1. You're lowering total and bad LDL cholesterol while also, regulating and increasing good HDL cholesterol, which is very nice. And then you're also going to get other heart health benefits. Reducing inflammation is a huge one, and that's usually because of the unique compounds that you're going to find in tea, like catechins and a really potent and one of my favorite antioxidants, even just saying, is quercetin. And it's funny because I've known about quercetin for I think I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I am. I've heard it pronounced like 5 different ways, so I hope that's the right one. But I've known about that for like 15 years. I was like one of the first ones that I kind of read about that had a lot of health benefits. So yeah, quercetin is going to help lower inflammation. It's found in great amounts in green tea. And it's going to not only lower inflammation, but going back to blood vessel health and blood vessel function, which is tremendous. So atherosclerosis reduction. Thank you, Tammy. I'm glad that you're finding it very helpful. And thank you so much for really pushing the likes there, guys. Jeez, I turn away for 1 second and then I see 33 likes. Thank you so much for helping me hit that goal, guys. I really do appreciate it. Lipitor, yep. Yeah, Lipitor is a big one. Cholesterol is borderline. Yeah, Sean, that can definitely be. You hear about that quite a bit. I won't comment too much on that just because I know it's a personal thing, and I don't know your health background. But I do know that it can be a frustrating thing, absolutely, to hear that. And just with working with clients and things of that nature and doing consultations, it's not the first time that I've heard sort of that experience, and I know the frustration that can come from that. So my levels were textbook perfect. Nice. Well, see, you were able to change it. That's awesome. And that's the best way to do it is live that healthy lifestyle, get those healthy foods in, and just improve your overall health, not just your LDL cholesterol or cholesterol levels, but your overall health as well, which is tremendous. Okay, so green tea, guys. Quercetin is amazing. All right. Also, the catechins, beneficial compounds found in green tea, some other teas like white tea as well. All right. So you can add white tea, even black tea, very underrated. Black tea is a great choice as well. All right. So you're not only going to get it from green tea, but if you're a fan of like black teas, white teas, things of that nature, you're going to get these as well. All right. Now for the catechins, it's a little more complicated, but I know with the catechins, it can help with a lot of different things when it comes to heart health. But cholesterol-wise, it can help reduce cholesterol synthesis is the first one, and absorption. So that's where it really shines in its ability to help lower cholesterol. So catechins, lowering cholesterol synthesis, or reducing the chance of it, and absorption of cholesterol. So very nice. And then we even see in studies, like I said, the 2-for-1, lowering of total cholesterol and bad LDL cholesterol, and increasing good HDL cholesterol, which is just tremendous. It's amazing when you get those two benefits. Especially so if you are a green tea, I am a fan of green tea. So that's fortunate. I think a lot of people are. But again, if you're not a fan of green tea, if you're a fan of other teas like white tea and black teas, I think that would even include like chai, because I know the base of chai tea is black tea a lot of the time. So, that can help increase it as well. Absolutely amazing. We've been going 100 minutes here, guys. 100 minutes. I hope you guys have found this discussion interesting. I always love getting the feedback from you guys, and I love getting it live because you guys do a great job at giving me feedback. On the thumbs up, I'll look at some of the videos and there'll be like 120 thumbs up and no thumbs down. What do you think I get from that? It's showing me that there's a lot of value in the video and that you guys enjoyed it. You do a great job giving me feedback in the comments as well, which I really appreciate. I appreciate both of those. And even the support on these live streams, all the thumbs up, everyone watching, all the back and forth that we have. So just tremendous support, and I can't thank you guys enough. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys are getting a lot out of this chat. I try to give as much information as I can. And like I said, this discussion, anything pertaining to heart health and even gut health now, the two big issues, I guess, that I'm sort of really focused on, it's a huge discussion. If we're talking about like a chronic disease like heart disease, if we're talking about that and billions of people are going to be dealing with some sort of risk factor of heart disease over the next X number of years, that's a pretty important topic to be discussing. So that's why I get really into these heart health discussions, cholesterol, which I know Sean's, thank you for sharing that, Sean, like your personal story there. Your story there, it kind of sums up a lot of what's going on right now, even with like cholesterol and things like that. So that's why I think, again, it's really, really important to discuss. And so I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And thank you, Sean. I'm glad you found the information to be helpful, and thank you for sharing. So I think I'm going to end here, guys. Like I said, thank you so much. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Again, don't try to go for all that 150 minutes of movement all in one day. You guys can spread it out over the week. Start slowly, all right? Get the lifestyle, living a non-sedentary lifestyle that's only going to help the benefits of these foods. Like I said, that's why I gave the little discussion before getting into the foods. Change the lifestyle, all right? Try to live a less sedentary lifestyle. If we're obese, try to get down to a healthy weight. Again, that's not to be judgmental. A lot of people right now are dealing with this. Try your best to get into a calorie deficit so that we're getting down to a healthy weight, and that's only going to make it more and more beneficial for these foods being added to your diet. Because again, if you're eating a lot of salt, sugar, things of that nature as well, trans fat, saturated fats, all right, the benefits of these foods are not going to be as good or even be beneficial at all, really, when it comes to heart disease and especially cholesterol. All right, guys. So again, we'll end it there. Thank you, Tammy. You as well. I hope everyone has a great week. I really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you so much. All those thumbs up coming in at the end. I can't thank you guys enough. And like I say, stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope, like I said, try to add just a few of these foods. Just keep them in consideration when it comes to cholesterol health and heart health and just overall quality and health and living a healthy lifestyle. So thank you so much, guys. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You're very welcome, Crutch. Thank you for the laugh, and thank you for sharing and for the comments today and the interaction. I really appreciate having you in here. Same with everyone in here. I would scroll up, but I see Crutch, Tammy, Sean, Nadine, Marilyn, Stacy, I know is in here, Magali, so many people, and it's even the people who mentioned that it was their first time in here. Sorry, I can't scroll up anymore. Jalu was the other one. I wish I could see all the names, but unfortunately I can't scroll all the way up here. But thank you so much, guys. Again, these chats aren't going to be going anywhere. We're going to continue with the live streams, continue with the live chats. I want to keep giving advice in real time. So I'm really glad that a lot of you guys appreciated the information, found it useful, and we'll just keep going from there. Keep trying to improve, like I said, our overall health and our quality of life. And, it's just so great to see, so many people who come into these chats. It's always it's like almost not surprising to me, but it is kind of nice to see that a lot of people are finding it useful. So thank you so much, guys. Have a safe, healthy, and great week. We should be back Wednesday. Like I said, I like to do 2 of these a week. We've been doing these for months now. Thank you so much for the support. I'm going to end the stream here, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.